If you win the rat race, you're still a rat. When you adopt Bitcoin, you stop running the rat race and start walking your own path. Bitcoin for me is the ultimate savings technology and helps me to reduce the uncertainty that everyone has towards their future. Okay, we are all corrupt when it comes to money. So we need a money that is incorruptible. We need a money that you don't have to trust anyone. Once you realize that all those things are broken because the money is broken, there's like only one option, and the option is move to another money. That's also how I view Bitcoin. You know, I just said savings technology. It's not an investment.
You want to make a difference in the world, stack sats. You're going to have enough wealth that you'll be able to very much change the community around you.
Yes, I say this a lot. Like, once you realize that like all the things that you would want to fix in the world, and I think there's a lot of things that millennials have like an opinion about that they want to fix and like make a better future. Like, once you realize that all those things are broken because the money is broken, there's like only one option, and the option is move to another money. That's also how I view Bitcoin. You know, I just said savings technology. It's not an investment. It's literally, okay, this was literally my realization. Okay, I gathered a certain amount of economic energy in this fiat money system that is designed to work against me and my future and my family and all these things. And I just take it and I move to a provably better system that, as you said, you know, like it's all these things. It's trustless, apolitical, a-religious. It doesn't matter about who you are or where you're from. And I think in that sense it is the perfect money, because the money is neutral, and that will enable like a real free market, right? That will enable that if we meet each other and you are a service provider and I'm a customer, and you give me your value proposition and I think, oh well, that solves my problem or a need that I have, that once we shake hands, it's a relationship between you and me without any third party influencing that relationship. You know, in the case with fiat money, where the reward that we are using for this exchange from me to you is influenced by a third party that doesn't really care about this free environment where we shook hands on whatever the exchanges that we do.
You'll love this one. Millennials are cautious about their personal data. Enters Bitcoin.
Nice.
Optimistic. Millennials are quietly optimistic about the environment. Bitcoin is a very green technology, despite what people have been told. I literally think this money was built for millennials. Millennials are avid savers.
Funny. I never looked at a list like this, but I love it. Yeah.
Millennials are nostalgic.
Well, that's what I just said about the 80s and 90s. Like in general, what I find interesting is that if you really had your youth in the 90s, I think a lot of people reminisce about that youth. I say a lot that, you know, like growing up in that time is probably like the best time to grow up of any person who ever lived, you know. Again, especially in you know, my perspective is from a Western country, of course, but
yeah, I never
that
really
is
thought
really
of that.
different. That is really different.
As a
now.
millennial, you saw the world change from like peak as a kid to where we are today. I mean, you guys hit like the top of the
The
bell
whole
curve.
arc. Yeah. Dude, I had VHS tapes, I had cassette tapes, I had CDs, mini disc. I tried out all the stuff. Yeah, first time that there was like SMS text messaging.
Right, you were born right into rapid disruption,
All the stuff,
rapid change.
all the stuff.
Yeah, that's rad. And millennials are competitive. That's the last one. Stack more than your bros at the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think I don't know who I had on, but he said the Bitcoin is like the S&P 500 for millennials. You know, I think the Gen Xers had the S&P, the Boomers had real estate, and I feel that Bitcoin is just the thing to build wealth and secure the future for millennials.
Absolutely. So if you're a millennial and you haven't figured out Bitcoin yet, you've just been called out, because this is literally built for you. So obviously that's sort of like been, I mean, you recognized it in yourself first, right? And then you wanted to deliver that message to millennials and the world at large. And from what I read, it sounds like the data is pointing that the millennials are the largest holders of Bitcoin from between all the generations.
Probably it wouldn't surprise me in general, just the younger generations. You know what, the idea that I like is that, you know, young Gen Z and just like, you know, young teenage kids now, they grow up in a world where Bitcoin just exists. And when I think about that, then I know that Bitcoin already won over, you know, a bit longer time frame. But let's say, you know, 2030, when they are like 18, 20, 25, or when Gen Z is like 30. Yeah, what are your arguments for fiat money versus Bitcoin? You know, like, you cannot ignore the fact that something like Bitcoin exists. And I think these younger generations will prefer this money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it like that, then Bitcoin has already won, or at least fiat money has already lost, because there's just no good argument to adopt fiat money. As I said before, like, when you hear Christine Lagarde say like, yeah, we use this money because we all agree to trust it, this and that. Like, now that we're talking, I'm thinking like, that's a boomer argument. You know what I mean? It's like a boomer would accept that argument. Like, oh, someone, you know, sorry for all boomers listening, but more like, oh, someone from the government says this, so I'm gonna do it. You know, okay, I'm really, you know, over characterizing, but, you know, like, young people that are like, who are you? Who are you? You know, why, you know, you say this thing, but, you know, I go on the internet and like 100,000 or millions of people talk about this Bitcoin thing, and you say nothing about it. You just say like, oh yeah, this is a nothing burger, but you talk about it all the time as a central banker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, younger people don't run with that. And so, yeah. What I like, sorry, I'll add that.
Yeah, okay.
For me, this has helped me a lot, just trying to rationalize certain things that are happening, not even about this topic, but just the way of communication, or thinking about, yeah, some stuff has happened in the past, and so that's an example of how, well, Bitcoin in this case is just going to proliferate, you know. And that has helped me a lot to kind of like step out of my own, you know, bias or opinion towards this. Just look at like, okay, what is the behavior of people, and how has, for example, the adoption of certain technologies gone? And then, yeah, I don't know, like, for me, it's pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest Byte Federal ATM and turn your cash to coin. Byte Federal has over 1,200 locations around the country, with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, bytefederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.